assault and batteries, but my trunk stay ever ready. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready.
Alright, this video is going to be a little bit different than my typical wrestling videos. It's more of an update about what has been going on with me over the last couple of years. You probably noticed over the last month especially, my video uploads have gone from like 1 a year to about 12 a month. And there is a whole reason behind it. I guess it's kind of a long story, but I can start right from like when I stopped making videos, which was about 4 years ago. Which seems like an eternity, but yeah, 4 years ago is when I had the idea of doing the Kliq Roundtable. My main goal was to get all my friends together that we went on these amazing, unforgettable WrestleMania trips and kind of reminisce and just get those stories out onto a platform that'll live on forever, essentially. And I like Miguel, Steve, Justin, Ryan, Mike. All these guys have become closer than my real life friends. You know, they're like brothers to me now, and all of them were in attendance for my wedding last year. And it was something that I really wanted to continue forward with. And I think I got about 3 episodes or 2 episodes in. And then of course my computer, which mind you I've had since 2011, so it had about like at least 10 or 11 years on it, decided to crash out completely. From there, I was already kind of on the fence where YouTube became a chore rather than a passion. And I was always told in life, if you're not passionate about something, it's just time to give it up. And it became almost like a chore to put a video out, whether it be once a week or once every other week. I just didn't have it in me anymore. Of course, I think myself and Steve are really the last 2 out of that OG core of YouTubers from 2009 that really still do videos. And even me, it's barely putting it as like consistent. Steve still puts 5-6 videos out every day. I knew the landscape of YouTube was changing, and it was a matter of me keeping up with the times or falling behind. And with the loss of passion I had and just not being into it at all, I decided to give up, plain and simple. So I just stopped making videos, and it kind of led me down a path of like not caring about this channel and what I had took so many years to kind of establish. People would ask me all the time, why don't I make videos? I would get messages almost every day, just kind of giving me video ideas or just kind of persuading me and really encouraging me to come back. And at the end of the day, it just wasn't in me to like want to do videos and keep up with it. What really got the spark going again was Forbidden Door 2023. Ryan Falcone came from New York to Toronto, and I've talked about this in other videos. And just going to that show just reignited every like flame that was burnt out from watching wrestling. It was like I was watching weekly shows, I was watching pay-per-views, and Collision included. I was watching Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was doing everything. And I was like fully on board to the point where my wife was like making comments where she was like, you catfished me into thinking you were into wrestling and this wasn't like your thing anymore. And now it's like you became the super fan just over a weekend. And it was funny because she was actually supposed to go with me to that show, and Ryan's last minute change to come to Toronto kind of gave her the boot, and I put him in that slot, and her and I ended up going to a Dynamite together that following Wednesday. With me back on the wrestling wagon and just being fully into it again, the YouTube thing still wasn't there. I know I might have made a video just kind of talking about things here and there that kind of came up, major news stories. The need to make videos still wasn't a priority of mine. And a lot of it had to do with like I've seen what the content creation game and what the landscape was, and it was a matter. To me, I didn't think I had it in me, and I know YouTube's changed so much from the days of us making 10-minute and 59-second videos, and even surpassing that to like 20-minute videos of us just talking about anything, debates and collections, unboxings. And I feel like the attention span of everyone has kind of gone down, which is a reason why I try keeping my videos, except this one, between like 3 and 6 minutes. I remember after moving out of my parents' house and buying this house I'm in now, I thought it was more of like a clean slate where it's I have this little wrestling man cave to myself. I have my whole little setup here, and I actually prefer this setup of what I had before. I feel it was more clean, and I was thinking maybe this is what I need to start doing videos. And I did do a couple here and there, but it still wasn't a passion. It still wasn't something that I wanted to invest too much of my time and effort in. So I didn't really go 100% full blown like I used to do before, what I'm doing now. So about a year went by, I maybe made a couple videos here and there, and then Mike Pico came from Chicago to Toronto for AEW's All Out. And I remember during that weekend, something inside of me just like, I just enjoyed that weekend so much. It was only myself, Justin, and Mike, and then Griff for just a couple hours. That weekend something happened where it was like that spark came back, and I know a few people had come up to me during the show and they just talked about how much they enjoyed watching my videos. And I get people coming up to me here and there, and they always talk about how I used to watch you when I was like a kid. And a lot of my viewers now are like in WWE, the wrestlers, and TNA, and doing stuff within the business. And it's very rewarding for me, and it's a good feeling knowing that these people, I mean, these kids at one point are now like doing something, and it was my videos that kind of inspired that fandom of theirs. I have 19,000 subscribers, and that's like a good fan base that people only dream of getting. And it's like I have that platform, and it's just a matter of me being lazy essentially and not having that passion. So the more I talk to people, the more messages I got. I was like, man, I really should start doing this again. And Mike's trip to Toronto kind of ignited that flame, and I was like, man, maybe I should start this up again. So I did the day in the life video there, and the thing that really set it over the edge where I knew that like this is what I wanted to do, I was already kind of on the fence. I was like, I did the day in the life video, let's just see where it goes from here. And I listened to Santi Zap on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and he is like a success story, honestly. He lives about an hour away from me. I met him during the Elimination Chamber. We talked for about 5 minutes. Man, like this guy, and he makes videos just like we do, like 10, 15, 20 minute, 30, 40 minute videos of him just talking. And he's created this fan base for himself, and he's been consistent. His whole thing is a shitty video is better than no video at all. People come on YouTube, people expect you to be consistent, which was a big part of like the Redemption tour. And I was like, man, like this guy like has it all figured out, and I already have this fan base, and I know what it takes to have a successful channel. Why don't I do it? And that's kind of really what started this and what really got the passion going. So I'm like, let me start from doing one video a week. And then once I did that one, I'm like, man, like I can do this all the time. Just seeing the response from people, knowing and seeing that I'm kind of back into it, the final Redemption tour, it's a good feeling. And it kind of makes me want to continue doing it and start doing it more regularly and make this into my daily life like it once was 12 years ago. So that's why this video is called My Final Redemption, because I want to make it a personal goal of mine to not leave YouTube again. I can do this until I'm 50. And I was talking to Steve about this the other day, that Steve was always known as the old guy in our group. He was always the oldest. But the thing is, he was 30 years old at our first WrestleMania trip. I'm now 35, so I'm older than Steve was at that point, and now kind of puts things in perspective of how much time has changed and how much we've grown up as individuals. But the one thing that stayed consistent through all those years is our friendship that we made through YouTube and the platform in general. I've always had a fan base. I've always had supportive viewers and subscribers. I've met many of you throughout like the years, and I'm very thankful to have people who are so supportive of me and want me to succeed, and people who've come up to me that I've met at the Elimination Chamber who congratulated myself and my wife on our wedding, and they saw the videos, and it's just a good feeling all around. And that's what I want again. And I can honestly say this is something I enjoy doing. It's something that I feel like just comes so natural to me, making videos. That is me putting it all out there for you guys and kind of knowing where my head is at. And I'm glad that people have been enjoying this, and I've been dabbling in like what I think people are enjoying, what people want to see. So I have been doing these top fives, and I've been doing just talking about controversial topics and returns. But yeah, I am wanting to continue this. So if you do have any video suggestions for me or what you want to see, whether it be collections or countdowns or whatever, let me know. And thank you for sticking by me since 2009. And I'll see you guys in the next video.